It's been a long time since I recorded a video. I used to have short hair. And it's really a story. First of all, I do know 3 languages, and I learned them by reading the King James Bibles. I know English and Hebrew and Greek. And while I was reading them and growing an awful lot of fucking weed in Santa Cruz, I had seizures because I wasn't eating properly. I have a situational anorexia. I mean, you see it all the time when you look at people like experimental people have what I would call the opposite of the fat gene. Their mind is chemically integrated to not eat. And so you see a lot of it nowadays. You saw it with Michael Jackson, you saw it with Whitney Houston, Brittany Murphy, anybody look at Macaulay Culkin lately, awfully thin. And it's whereby the mind loses its ability to understand that it's taking in nutrition. So what had happened to me is I had a series of seizures that made my heart stop. And I began to have visions, what I call Jacob's ladder, being able to climb up and down to heaven. Because prior to these seizures, what I had of the content of my mind was Bible stories, mostly Old Testament, because those are the fun stories. So when it happened and when I was unable to talk and think rationally, all I had was these stories in my mind. So I began this process of thinking about eternity, the world beyond this world. So this is, what I'm doing is an experimental blog, an experimental reality, but it is my life that I'm doing. It's rather virtual. So some people, you feel like it's virtual stalking, but it's not. In the end, I'm trying to get to know people, but I don't want to know my friends from my hometown. I want to get to know people in a different way, in a different world, in a different view. So, some might think it's gay. Some might think it's druggy. I don't give a fuck, I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm 56 years old, so I don't have a fuck to give about. It's about finding my way into another dimension of thinking. So I've been writing Love at the Edge of the World at the End of Time. You'd be surprised at the people I've met, mostly women, mostly very wealthy, and mostly willing to tell their short stories and share their heart. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking to sleep with them. I'm not looking for their money. I don't care about that. I realize that people with money and people with power, they're very lonely. And they're harder to draw out, but once you do draw them out, they really can be very tender. And so I'm rather psychedelically evangelical, because my stories basically revolve around, my dog just walked in. We hold him on a minute. Get up here and stop bothering me. I'm serious. Get in here and lay down. Oh God. My stories are basically primordial, and they have an attachment to the Bible, as most pop culture does now. For example, the Supremes climb up to heaven, and the roof is Jacob's ladder, which has a long involved story with me based on a friend I know, an author. Who has a son named Jacob, who has a son named Cain. And Jacob passed away a long time ago, 30 years ago now, today. So this woman and I, she lives in the Garden of Good and Evil in beautiful Savannah. We talk often of Jacob's ladder. And we share an interesting faith between us. So, love at the edge of the world at the end of time is really about somebody that knows Daniel quite well and the visions of Daniel. Understands the times you're in right now. If you were to ask me, do I think it's the end of the world, the end of time? Yes, I think it's the end of this time, like no other. I think that prophecy is like DNA in animals. You know, the Jewish prophecies have been told so long and lived so long that they've become DNA, as a rabbi would tell me. My mother's maiden name is Fisher, so none of this stuff is unusual to me. So what I'm doing now is an experimental Facebook and seeing who I can connect with and see who has these visions of love at the end of the world, at the end of time. You can see from my other videos my hair was short, and that's shortly after I had a set of 3 seizures because my heart would stop. Everybody thinks that's about drugs with all these people, but it's not. It's about not getting the proper nutrition. Drugs are a symptom of that, but they're not the cause of it. You know, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Macaulay Culkin, I'm sure he's the next to go. Brittany Murphy, they don't eat properly. And their heart goes into an electrolytic imbalance, and it's very easy to do and very easy to happen. So, you know, if there's a cautionary tale in it, it would be that. I mean, skinny is a matter of eating. It's not a matter of drugs. I know a lot of people that do drugs that are fat. So, I sat in my back room and I communicated with a lot of people online. From all over the world, I was looking for the Ark. Noah's Ark, I wanted to die. It's all I had was my Bible stories for a long time. And so I mapped out the Bible in Google Earth and plotted where the people were. And I suddenly realized that what we're looking at today is very much an attachment to these stories. I mean, Persia, and Israel, and Eastern Africa, and Egypt. And you have this surrealistic kind of Americana Pentecostalism going on right now that seems to identify itself because it is the great nation that soon will not be, that acts this out. So I really understand not only the affect of religion in global integration and socialism, I also understand it in pop culture. And this is a way I've communicated online, not to evangelize, but to seek out like-minded people, and you would be surprised at the amount of love and really, frankly, the beautiful women that I found along the way that want to express their faith. I mean, I don't care about money. I mean, and fame is easy. Fame is internalized anymore. It's analyzed, and you're targeted with ads. So you never know if people are watching you or seeing you, and it doesn't really matter so long as you see yourself. But what I have is elaborate emails with people discussing all of these things that are matters of faith, because it's become so integral. So that's what I'm doing. It's experimental. It's rather maddening. It's rather crazy. But that's who I am. Has a very good hook in the ending. You know, I'm not a virtual stalker. I go on, I activate and deactivate in Facebook. I can watch people when they go online and come offline in my email. I know a lot about computers. So I don't care what you think I am. I don't care at all. Why would it matter? What does it matter to me? I'm last rights, okay? I mean, I'm late reality TV. I'm nobody but a reflection of your own mind when you have nothing better to do. Good night. Say my love to Ona.